seen a lot of stupid people, but damn, this nigga stupid. This video, it took me a straight hour or two to make the script. I have dead serious, 23 goddamn points I gotta go through this video. It's gonna be a long one for me. I always rush these niggas, these bitches out though, but whatever. Also, disclaimer, I'm gonna be cussing this video, and if you get triggered by that, I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? I'm very passionate about this. Today we're gonna be covering the worst cartoon critic on this goddamn platform. Let's get it!
So the other day I had an epiphany. I was scrolling mindlessly through my phone as one does, and I came across this monstrosity, The Fairly OddParents Reboot, and it was just as bad as I expected it to be.
First off, it's not even a reboot, it's a sequel series. They even mentioned Timmy Turner multiple times about this goddamn series. If you even watched it or even had the time to even watch it, I'll be surprised even if you did. Plus this video must be seen rushed, because considering the edits and shit was not even fucking funny. At least add some flair to it. At least make some points or actually come up with any actual evidence, considering that this isn't even goddamn reboot, it's a sequel series. Like, hey, huh?
Mindless drivel plot lines, flashy art style, and an overt unfaithfulness to the source material. And I realized, these phenomena are not unique to The Fairly OddParents. These symptoms carry on to many remakes and reboots that have sprouted from Hollywood in the last few years.
First off, then he rambles about Hollywood reboots and how it destroys the vision of the original and overall disrespects the whole vision, which... no, it still keeps the same energy of the OG one, except it's a different protagonist. Like, there's no difference between the other one and this one, except how the protagonist thinks, does throughout the entire series, or how the protagonist looks, which isn't the point of the whole series. And you're crying about this just makes you look like a bitch right now. I'm not gonna hold you at all, gang. I'm not gonna hold you at all. It makes me feel like you don't know what reboots are, so let me explain to you. Reboots, in main terms, I'm gonna say like a regular nigga-omics and niggatry, how I say it. A reboot is something that basically changes its original source material, but it adds new ideas and reinvents it, but in a new, different way for the series to be alive again for a new generation of people that didn't watch the original.
It was originally The Fairly OddParents Trash Reboot #1 that inspired me to make this video, but now they went and made another one. And when it's animated, that's where I draw the line. I'm old enough to remember back in Yale 2016 when everyone was trashing the new reboot at the time, Teen Titans Go.
My guy. Teen Titans Go, trashing it in the big 2024. My guy. I've been on the internet since 2016. I watched the show. It's alright. Gang, it really ain't that serious. It didn't kill you or nothing. It exists. So what? Keep going. Let's get to the main point of the video.
Then it was the Powerpuff Girls, Ben 10 reboot, Rise of TMNT, the list goes on. No one really respects reboots as an inherent property, especially in the manner that they're handled in our modern era. It's almost a safe opinion these days to say, ooh, Hollywood unoriginal, Hollywood bad. But when you take a deeper look at it, you realize it's not just about the unoriginality. These Disney reboots do more than just rip off the original for monetary gain. No, no, no. They actively disrespect the source material while they do it. They have to warp the brand to their liking, whether it's for monetary, social, or storytelling purposes.
Okay, so what I'm getting at is that you're one of those people that always say like, well, go woke, go broke, am I right? Now listen, whatever you believe is fine. I don't really care. I don't really care what you believe. But this nigga is just stupid as fuck, bro. Half of the stuff he's putting up here is crazy. I got just seen the new, Little Mermaid, little remake they made. What different was that from the original? How did it destroy it? I know. Cause Ariel a nigga now, that's why it was ruined. Again, proving my point. Instantly, bro.
Reboots, especially in the animated realm, aim to purposely disrespect the original vision. Starting off with the fact that the original creators don't want this kind of stuff, almost ever. We've all heard of how Steven Hillenburg never really wanted a reboot of SpongeBob, but ever since his late passing, Nick has capitalized on 2 already.
If I hear one of y'all niggas talk about Steven Hillenburg for like the, I don't know, millionth time, gang, Steven Hillenburg is dead. That nigga's not alive no more. He's not coming out of here and telling you all these opinions he thought about years ago. Man, it doesn't make any sense to me. How are you going to talk about this when you don't know the nigga? He never knew you. He never told you about this information. All you heard this information from was from a botched interview where they talked about him saying, where Steven Hillenburg was joking around saying like, well, I don't want to make it spin off. I just end it off. When literally he changed his mind after the latest SpongeBob movie that came out later that year, and he wrote it before he died. He also wrote that other SpongeBob movie that came out later. I can't remember that name either, but he even approved the Camp Coral. There's literally tweets of the dude who made that other tweet. There's tweets of him saying like, yo, he talked about it, he liked it, he thought of the idea, so we're doing Camp Coral for him. But hey, let's just look at articles and create a narrative behind it to boost my narrative, just to manipulate people into thinking my narrative so I can feel right in my head, so I don't look wrong and dumb and stupid.
When a reboot is properly won by the creators, it usually does quite well, and actually delivers true to the vision. But when it doesn't, it's just a floundering attempt to show what was good and unique and cash in on someone else's creation. Let's give it bright, saturated animation to the point where kids get a corneal ulcer. Why not? Kids like colors, right? I feel like everything I'm saying only relates to reboots post-2010, because prior to that, most reiterations weren't like this. Most were better than the originals, and actually kept gritty tones with cool brooding art styles.
Oh, so like colors is wrong now? Bro, what are you yapping about? So basically you're saying like, yo, you don't like the art style or the colors with it. Just say you don't like the art style or the colors. That's just an objective. That's just an opinion of yours that you don't like. Gang, Rise of the TMNT is the best animated TMNT we've had in years. You can't even care about that. Well, maybe Mutant Mayhem, but Rise is objectively has a good art style. How is that a problem? And third off, with the second point, what you was talking about, a brooding art style in a brooding series doesn't make it good. Saying like, let's see, an Adventure Time versus Amazing World of Gumball, right? Two series, one serialized and one has a story. The one that has a story, it's different. It's structured way different. It's paced way different against Amazing World of Gumball, where anything happens in Amazing World of Gumball, anything goes in the next episode, boom. No repercussions ever. It starts up brand new. That's the difference. But what you're saying is Adventure Time is objectively better than Amazing World of Gumball, which you can be totally, completely wrong on that, because that is just objective. A story doesn't make a show good, and serialized doesn't make a show bad. It's all just you, quote unquote, saying objectively, saying this is better, why this is not better. No, that's not how that works. You're speaking your own opinions. Quit yapping and saying this is better when that's not the case at all. I'm gonna talk about it later. But I wanted to catch something else with this too, what he was talking about. He's showing clips of Ben 10, which is a sequel show, which is the same thing you're talking about you don't like. So if this is a good sequel show, why is this not a good sequel show? People like it, right? People don't have a problem with it. Why do you have a problem? You're not speaking anything about the new Wish. You're going all over the place. Go to the main point of why you don't like it. If you don't like this, why do you like this?
These modern reboots just go back to square one while ignoring all the story arcs that preceded them, with a cheap-looking animation style and much shallower characters.
Alright, I'm gonna talk about this. Listen. Alright, my opinion, I didn't like the Ben 10 reboot. But the one thing you show right there just tells me you really just don't know shit about what you're talking about. You're yapping over and over again about the same point that didn't make sense originally. First off, reboots are not a continuation, but takes the original idea but flips it on his head. Think about the Power Ranger reboot. It was darker, more grittier, but it had the charm of the original. It had the theme song. It kept the original idea intact while also creating new ideas with it in new art direction. If you didn't like that movie, that's fine, but it did what its original purpose was, and not to be a rehash of what happened in a TV show. That's what a reboot is, and if you don't like it, then don't watch it. Gang, I don't know what to tell you, bro. It's not that hard of a concept to think about.
They'll often ditch the grand arcs and storylines for a slice-of-life episodic show, bereft of any substance or long-term stakes.
Nigga, you just brought up the worst example on screen right here. I'm seeing Rise of the TMNT, and you just brought up a whole entirely different point that I was going to talk about, but I'm going to talk about it, and I'm going to yap right now. This video is going to be long anyway, so it is what it is. Rise of the TMNT. Yeah, it may be silly, But the criticism about that series is so incorrect. I've always wanted to talk about the series. If you want to hear me talk about the series, I'll try to do another video about that later. But I compare it to early 2010 cartoons, where it was episodic at first, but then it had lore overall. This is how they did in the 2012 series. 2012 series, it wasn't already serialized, but it had like a slice of life energy to it, while also having a lingering lore in the background that you had to wait for later on. The thing about what's fucked up with the Rise situation is the fact that it didn't let it flesh out the lore as much, because y'all didn't watch it and actually pay attention to the actual criticisms. The thing that made me so mad about this was the fact that cartoons did this shit all the time. Regular show was episodic. A regular show was episodic. But before we see all the lore and the stories overarch with each other, it was all serialized. All their adventures was scrapped up in that one episode, and it didn't carry on until they want to do story. Same thing with Adventure Time. Same thing with Steven Universe. And same thing with Gumball. We've done this before, but now all of a sudden it's newer. It's more objectively trash because it's a reboot of something that was already before it. Yeah, I know. All y'all niggas are biased, and trust me, he's not just one of those people. But I just want to talk about that because that example you brought up on screen, he did it with a purpose. Rise has some character development, and Rise was still the same as any other Ninja Turtle cartoon. Like, it's not anything different, but maybe I'm just yapping. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Part of a reboot is a fan service that you never really have to deliver to the original fans of the old property. You can't just say you're delivering something new for the current generation while abandoning the people who made your franchise what it is by watching all those years ago. Don't ruin our childhoods for your own creative laziness.
Alright, I'm finna get to what he was saying at the end, but I'm gonna get to this real quick. A reboot is supposed to be for newer generations to experience something as the same, but not as the same. It's just different for people who want to experience something and maybe want something different out of it. You feel me? And it gets people to, hey, I want to watch the original, see if it's good. That's how you introduce next generation. It's obvious. It's actually a good strategy. Make something good off an already original thing and let the people experience the original thing, but also experience the new thing as well. And say, hey, this is different, but it's the same, but it's different. And I like both of them equally. Same thing I would say again, like, there's multiple things I like. I like the 2012 TMNT. I like the 90s TMNT. They're different in many ways, but I respect them for being different than the OG comics. I could flip the narrative. What if the OG TMNT comics were the OG? They're the OG, right? Then the 90s TMNT is wrong for flipping it on its head and making it goofy or whatever. It's a bad reboot because it changed from the source material. I could flip the narrative all I want. This whole video is dumb. Second, we already just heard him talk about ruining your childhood. My God, you can still watch the original series. It's not like the series became lost media or something, or you can't find it no more. You literally can still watch it. It's not like it's Uncle Grandpa, or like, okay, maybe you can't find it on Max no more, but gang, it still exists.
It just makes you ask, why? Not to mention how they unnecessarily have to, all of a sudden, change everything about the show. I mean, no one wants to talk about it, but the current bandwagon is the whole race swapping thing they'll have to do with animated characters.
Now, I know you just didn't bring up the redhead erasure picture example from Twitter. My guy. Alright, gang, I don't even know what to say anymore, bro.
April O'Neil, Timmy Turner, Velma, etc.
Again, disproving your point I said earlier. The difference is Hazel is her own character. She is not Timmy. She's just a new God kid. I'm gonna speak up a point, and I know this is a strawman argument, and I know people are gonna call me out for this, but it is what it is. Would you even mind if Hazel was a white girl? Would you even bat an eye? If Hazel wasn't a black girl, if it was just a girl or another boy, would you still have an argument about it? Would you even complain? Would you even care? I know for a fact you wouldn't. Because the only reason and the only criticism you gave for it is because you call her a waist swap Timmy Turner, in which is completely wrong. Also, April O'Neil and Velma, their race doesn't really matter. Same thing with Hazel, because her race isn't integral with her character. April O'Neil's race is integral with her character. She's a reporter that works with the Ninja Turtles. That's it. Same thing with Velma. Velma works with the Scooby Gang. And she's Velma. She's smart, intellectual, And she comes up with some of the ideas to help them solve the crimes. Albeit a bad example, it still doesn't change the fact that the race of the character didn't matter in the first place. And also, Velma was bad not just because not because of her race, because it was a bad show. I don't get how stupid that is, but alright, gang, I guess.
This happened to Mike Henry too for playing Cleveland Brown.
Again, that's not what happened. The nigga that played Cleveland Brown, he himself said he didn't want to do it no more, because he felt like an actual black person could actually play the part. And guess what? A YouTuber named Azurs, shout out to my nigga, yes sir, he voice acts Cleveland now. And he does a fantastic job. Oh, what is that? An actor that doesn't want to play the character because it doesn't fit his race? How ironic is that? So what? You think Robert Downey Jr. in Tropical Thunder was right? You making me question your whole video right now, my guy. You making me question you, my guy. Listen, this video better get better, bro, because you making me question you in weird ways. I ain't gonna hold you, my guy.
When everything is racial, that's the only thing I can see when watching. I never saw Blade as a black character, or Cyborg, or Gerald as Static Shock.
All those characters you just listed, this is the whole argument that fucks me up. These characters, them being black, is part of their character. Blade, being black is part of his character. Cyborg, there's literally an episode of the OG Teen Titans, which you praise so much over Teen Titans Go, that talks about the same issue about race, but alluding to it while also having you thinking about real shit. There's an episode where Starfire goes against bigotry, and she asks Cyborg, do you ever feel like you being you is being ridiculed? And Cyborg literally tells, I can show you even a clip.
Way to go, Trocky.
You do not call me that.
But Valyor calls you Trock all the time.
That does not make it right.
What's up? I thought you said it didn't mean anything.
No, I said it means nothing. You know what it feels like to be judged simply because of how you look?
Of course I do. I'm part robot. Let's go find Robin.
Again, there's an episode of Static Shock. Also, fun fact, you see it's Static Shock. Static Shock is not his superhero name. Static is his superhero name. I'm sorry, I just sneezed. I'm just allergic to stupid ass niggas. So anyway, Static is his actual name. If you watch the show, you will know that. And Static Shock literally has an episode where his friend's dad was racist. And also Gerald from Hey Arnold. You could not talk about a show that is more diverse than Hey Arnold. They grew up in Gerald grows up in a bad neighborhood. It really shows you in the series. Don't know what to tell you, but being black is part of these characters. And them being black, without them being black, these characters would not hit the same. This would fundamentally ruin their character, which you said ruins everybody else. But you know what? I'm wrong at the end of the day. I'm wrong.
A lot of my favorite characters are people of various ethnicities and racial tone.
Wait, hold on real quick. I'm gonna reverse that real quick. Hold on, let me slow this bitch down. Ain't no way I just see who I just seen. Slow this down all the way to, let's see, 0.5 speed.
A lot of my favorite characters are people of various ethnicities and racial tone.
Did you just show Uncle Ruckus on screen? Uncle Ruckus. If you haven't watched the Boondocks, go watch it. Watch it now. That nigga is what you call an Uncle Tom. He hates black people. That's your favorite character? So you don't see his race? You just see him as a good character? My nigga.
The black female Timmy Turner is clearly just a cheap attempt to reboot this property without any other significant pitches for change. I mean, for the diversity folks, there must be a point where this hurts the cause more than it helps it.
Alright, first he starts making a heavy emphasis on her race. That's not even true. The whole show doesn't even put an emphasis on her race. They put an emphasis on her character and the relationships of the characters to further more the story. Which this isn't even a serialized show. It's an actual story inside of it. Then I came up with something just randomly. You are the only person bringing up her race. Nobody else is. You're the one only bringing up that she's black. You're the only one that brings up that, oh, she just here for brownie points, and oh, she just forced in here just to make the more minorities feel better seeing people on screen. Why is such a problem, her being black and being on screen and more minorities feeling good, that more black characters are getting more on screen? Cause before the early 2000s, let's be fucking real. Us black people barely had niggas that look like us on screen. How was that a bad thing to see black people on screen? I'm sorry to make this a racial issue, but I have to. I've seen white niggas all my life on TV. Hey, listen. Without all these black TV shows that came out in the early 70s, early 90s, we wouldn't have the stamp that we have on culture as a whole. I don't know.
This video isn't just about the new race swapping phenomenon, but it's an extremely prevalent symptom of a larger issue, which ties into the lack of respect for staying faithful to the original property. Maybe Butch Hartman wants Timmy to be race and gender swapped, which is why he has absolutely no direct involvement in the creative department of the project. I find that unlikely. It's absolutely insulting to ruin a person's original vision of a character just because people want to see themselves on screen.
Butch Hartman, the same person who wrote an episode where Timmy's dad was sitting in the same goddamn room as the fairies. And poof. And boop. First off, how do you know that Half-Beat's creators didn't even let them do it? What if Butch Hartman said, you know what, hey, do it. This is the same nigga that promoted the show. One of his shorts literally promote the show outright of him being so happy and get like, look, a new witch coming out, and I love the art style too. The nigga that made the show you claim that is the sole reason you're ruining the whole original idea actually agreed to having the show released. And fun fact, Butch Hartman still oversees the show, but he doesn't have full control over it because he doesn't care about it no more. So why do you care about it?
These people are too uncreative to create their own original stories, so they need to ruin existing stuff to be able to call themselves inclusive and hip with the times. This absolutely also hinders the story and episode quality, as the main selling point here is the obvious element that's right in front of us, but no one's allowed to acknowledge it for some reason. I mean, watch a single episode of Rise, A New Wish, Patrick Star, or Camp Coral, and you'll see that. Even those shows are unfaithful to the source material. It's not just about the race swapping issue.
Those shows are not even comparable! Camp Coral and Patrick Star are serialized shows. While yes, A New Wish is kind of like a serialized show, it also still have a story. Same thing with Rise. Character arcs, character growth, all that shit. And a plot growing. Like, bad comparisons again. I keep... This is crazy. I can't even like defend this. Like, what, bro, what are you yapping about? Like, why would you even upload this? You wrote this out and said, you know what? This heat. This fire! I'm like gunning in the studio! Like, gang, no, you're writing shit!
And some studio exec can just demand a reboot of it for ratings, and completely change the original character into something just to appeal to the bandwagon. In live action, you could claim that the actor's audition and skill level determine who gets the role, and that would be fair, but it's totally different with an animated character made of pixels. Although even that's under question these days when the new Snow White or Ariel can't even sing, but are preferred over tons of other actors.
You just lie like a motherfucker. Chloe Bailey can sing her ass off. I can show you a clip. Search up Chloe Bailey. Music. Live performance. No auto-tune. Going crazy. Don't ever downplay somebody's skill just because you're mad. Just because they're not a mermaid with white skin. Don't do that ever again, my guy. Just don't. Just hang it up, bro. You're cooked. You're done. You fell off. Get out of here, bro. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I'm being disrespectful, but like, how do people think like this? Like, it boggles my mind how people think like this. I'm wrong at the end of the day, am I right? I'm just a woke black person trying to see black people on screen.
I don't know. Am I crazy?
Yeah, you're crazy. Your closest relative is like a pig rolling his own shit, cause the shit you just rolled in is your own video you just uploaded right here. I'm just saying. No. Hey, yo, listen. No disrespect. No disrespect.
I feel like I'm living in the Emperor's New Clothes. People just disagree with this because it's the right thing to say or whatever, but most people would probably agree with these common sense points deep down. When a character is good, race shouldn't matter, nor should the new spin you put on the character, whether it's a gimmicky change in the age, the gender, the design more broadly, or their persona and attitude in a larger sense.
That's the part of the character. What does that not get with you? Also, it's so funny, I'm ironically showing clips of 2012 TMNT and Teen Titans, your OG ones. But you slowly forget that a lot of the stuff that you are putting up on screen goes against the original source material. OG TMNT. Shredder dies the first issue. 2012 TMNT. Shredder dies the last episode. Let's keep going. Teen Titans team only has Robin, Beast Boy, Cyborg, Starfire, and Raven. When the OG team had more members on there that we entirely missed. Going against, which further disproves your point, dismissing the entire OG point and ruining the series as a whole and ruining the characters as a whole. Because you're removing the part of the integral Teen Titans. Am I correct? But I'm stupid. I don't know, right? Because I'm not a person with 31K subscribers, so maybe I'm tripping.
Even things like the Lion King remake piss me off because they clearly capitalized on this and it worked by turning one of the greatest animated films in the 90s into a National Geographic documentary with the occasional reminder that it is, in fact, a Lion King reboot. When they're more faithful to the source material like Cinderella or Beauty and the Beast, it doesn't bother me as much. But I don't think Rob Minkoff and Roger Allers crafted the 94 masterpiece with their own hands just to expect it to get a live-action CG remake when it's pretty much 100% animation or portraying real animals for some reason. God, it's all so stupid.
Okay. Again, talking about people and their properties, about what they want to do with their properties and what gets rebooted and gets a spin-off, is fucking weird. And you need to stop immediately. Because nobody ever asks about what your opinion about their opinion about this was. Nobody asked! Gang, like, bro, what?
Anyway, can't wait to see a Sonic Shocker Spawn movie. And while they're at it, it wouldn't hurt to race swap one more movie, would it?
I was gonna cut back and talk to y'all, but I just saw that as a live reaction. Fuck was that mean? This made you weird. That last part, I was gonna let you go off stop free, but gang, you're weird. Like, you're weird. Also, that joke doesn't even make any sense since if you watch The Princess and the Frog, her race also ties back to her whole story as well, and her character as a whole. So. God damn, I don't even know. This whole video was a mess. Like, I wanted to stay like, damn it, bro. I hope y'all guys like this. This is like a different thing. I know I'll be like doing random content on this channel since I do everything random on here, my nigga. But like, dead serious. Listen, I know I kind of went off on him. I understand. You know what? I apologize for my going off on him. Being mean, I'm sorry, but I take this stuff real personally to me because I grew up with cartoons. I grew up with all these things, and just to see people say these type of junk and say this and that, especially as a black person, it made me feel like that her being black is the whole main reason why this video. Like, he wouldn't have talked about this if the character was another boy or better yet a white girl. He wouldn't have said this junk. Well, he would have said it if it was a female in general, because they would have said it was woke and DEI pushing, but it is what it is, my nigga. But y'all, I don't want to get political on here, but it's the last time I talk about stuff like this. To be honest with you, I'm just tired. Like, as a part, it gets to a point, you know. It gets to a point, but yeah, as the token black, as the token black in the art community, listen, I got y'all, man. I got you, my niggas. But it's stupid, man. It's stupid. But yeah, don't harass a dude. Don't be mean like me. You know, don't be like me. I'm not a role model, so don't do what I did. But it's just people that don't do research and lie about people who died, especially. It just rubs me the wrong way. But yeah, love y'all, man. If you want to see my main channel, this is a side channel after all, and I just came back after a couple months, so yeah, I guess my random getting back from the milk, getting back with the milk. Yes, sir. But yeah, bro, if you want to check out my main channel, here it is, link description below or right here. And yeah, bro, my name is Raya, and this is my second channel. Love you, man. See you later.